Are overnight feedings holding back your baby's sleep, or are they still necessary? Let's jump into it today and talk about whether you need to sleep train your baby or if they're truly actually hungry. If you're new here, my name is Missy Yandow. I'm the owner of Slumber and Bloom. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant, and I have all the answers to your questions today. Not only do I have all the answers, but I also have a free guide to hunger versus comfort in the description box down below. I will also pin it in the first comments. Don't worry about taking notes because I made notes for you. Let's jump right into it and talk about what is common, average, normal at this age. Now, those are words that may be used interchangeably, and they all just mean, on average, this is what you can expect. From 0 to 4 months, it is absolutely necessary, biologically normal for your baby to be feeding overnight. Now, this is absolutely not a time where you should be trying to cut feedings overnight, trying to stretch them longer. You should very much expect that your baby is going to need to eat every probably 2 hours at the very beginning, and potentially stretching it to every 3 hours as they get older. But it is very biologically normal at this age for your child to need feedings. So that is 1000% not what the sleep training part is about. We do not sleep train before 4 months old, so don't even worry about that. From 4 to 6 months old, some babies still need 1 feeding per night. Very few babies at this age still need 2 feedings at night. And also some babies do start going all night without a feeding at this point, but after 6 months old is when you can expect 10 to 12 hour stretches of sleep overnight without needing a feeding. Now, of course, this all goes for developmentally appropriate practices as per your child's pediatrician. I am not a medical professional. I do not have access to your child's growth chart, so I cannot tell you specifically when your child should stop having overnight feedings. If you are not sure, then you should 1000% consult your child's pediatrician. With that being said, let's talk about when your child might be ready to drop their night feeds. If your child is drinking plenty during the day and you know for sure that they are getting enough ounces, this goes for formula or breastfeeding. So obviously with breastfeeding, you may not have a way to know how many ounces they're taking, but you will know if they're getting a full feed or not, depending on the amount of milk in your boobies. If your child is naturally starting to have longer stretches of sleep overnight, then you know that your child may be able to actually sleep through the night and not need feedings. If your child is just suckling a little bit at the breast or at the bottle and then falling right asleep, then you know that they're doing this out of habit and just seeking comfort rather than true hunger. If your child is not ready to drop their overnight feedings, they may be underweight. They may be recommended to continue having feedings overnight as per the pediatrician. So that's where your child's growth curve is going to come in 9 times out of 10. If your child is on their own growth chart and the pediatrician is not concerned with their growth, then they will say you can stop doing overnight feeds whenever you're ready to. If your child is a little underweight, then the pediatrician may recommend feedings every however many hours. Your child is also not ready if they're taking a full feeding, staying awake, and then happily just going back to sleep on their own. This is generally a sign that your child needs those additional calories. There is such a thing as reverse cycling their feedings, where your child is actually not eating a lot during the day and they're taking all these calories at night. That is a separate issue. But if they are eating full feeds during the day, full feeds at night, and then going right back to sleep, then you know that obviously your child still needs feeding. So when do we sleep train rather than feed? The very first and foremost point is that we're sleep training when it doesn't hinder your child's hunger. We're not ignoring any hunger cues. So if your child is truly hungry, you feed them. And I feel like this is where sleep training gets a bad reputation, because a lot of people think that sleep training means cutting all overnight feedings, and that is not the case. Sleep training and overnight feeds can coexist when it's necessary. But when it's not necessary, we will cut the feedings. There are options of different ways to do do this. There are gradual ways to sleep train overnight and cut unnecessary feedings, and there's the cold turkey, rip the band-aid and just sleep train through the night when you know your child is not hungry. Whichever method you choose is dependent on how you decide to parent your child and the temperament of your child, their milestones, their ability to sleep through the night. So teaching independent self-soothing skills and meeting their needs is going to go hand in hand. It's not one or the other. And one thing that I really want parents to understand is that you can sleep train and feed your child overnight and encourage them to drop feedings overnight when developmentally appropriate, all at the same time within one large cycle. This is where all the pieces to sleep training really need to come into play, and sometimes you need outside professional help and a different perspective in order to make this a smooth and easy process for you. There are always options. So one thing you might read on the internet may conflict something different that you're reading on the internet, but just know that it's not one size fits all. Not every baby drops overnight feedings at the same time, and not every baby drops them in the same way. Some babies hold on to the feedings longer, some babies drop them earlier, and every baby is going to be different, and there's no need to compare your baby to someone else's baby. What works for you and works for your baby is perfectly fine, and there's no need to change it until it's unsustainable or until your doctor says, we really need to work on dropping these feedings, your child doesn't need them anymore, or for any other reason. You also don't have to justify to anyone else on the entire planet why you decide to drop overnight feedings if it's developmentally appropriate. Some people may try to convince you that if your baby wakes at night, you should just automatically feed them. I've heard it said, and it is not always true. Do what you know is best. You can support sleep while honoring your baby's needs. It's not one or the other. It's not one size fits all. Do not forget to grab the guide in my description box down below and in the comment section. This is a free guide that is jam-packed with so much information on how and when to drop overnight feedings, if you should be dropping overnight feedings, when is your child actually hungry, when are they just seeking comfort, and what are the next steps. I am always here to help you, to guide you, and support you, and keep blooming. Mwah.